Hello everybody. As you have seen my last three lectures on GeoStudio, this is the fourth lecture in that series. This is the problem we have solved in last three lectures also, and the problem will remain the same, but the approach will change. So this is the geometrical coordinative representation of the problem, and this problem will remain the same. The only thing will change the method of solving this problem. So today we are going to solve this problem using finite element method. In the last lectures we have solved using limit state method or limit equilibrium method. So today we are going to solve it by finite element method in GeoStudio. So let's start with the GeoStudio. So we'll go to the software. I'm using the same project which I've used in last three lectures so as to give you a comparative study between limit state and finite element method. In this project you can see the geometry is already defined. You can also define if you are using the different type of geometry, you can define it by going to draw region, and it is a simple drawing, nothing else. You just have to know the coordinates. You have to know the coordinates so that you can draw your geometry. Now going back to GeoStudio. So this is the geometry, and let me show you that I have solved it for three cases. For limit equilibrium method, the first one is without reinforcement, the second one is with the one reinforcement layer here, and the third one is with multiple reinforcements. So now what we are going to do is we are going to solve it by finite element method. So as the geometry will remain the same, I'm going to go to the this I'm going to go to this analysis and I'm going to copy it. So I'll go to the analysis and right click, then I'll go and add analysis. I'll clone it. I'll clone both geometry and analysis branch so that I don't have to redo the things again, redo the things. So what is the difference between limit state method and finite element analysis is that while using the GeoStudio, what we have to do is in the limit equilibrium method, we directly solve it by using slope W analysis tool. But what we do in finite element method is we have to first analyze the stresses of this cross section or this element of soil so that we can use it in the slope W software. So in the finite element analysis, the stresses we have to calculate prior to doing the analysis for slope stability. So this prior analysis of stresses we do using two softwares. The first one is Sigma W and the second one is Quake W. So I will use Sigma W. So it is simpler, and so let's see how you do it. You go to the analysis in which we are going to solve it by finite element method. You go and you go for click on define project. Then in the define project box you go into the add box. In the add box you have to add first, you have to add a sigma W analysis and in situ type, because we are going to calculate the in situ stresses. So I'll add a in situ type, and in situ type analysis is added. Don't mind this slope stability, I'll explain this later. So in this in situ type analysis, what we have to set is the first one, we have to set the parents. So parents, we do in this analysis we are going to select the type of analysis, is it in situ or is stress calculation. And in parent you have to select none, because there is no parent for this, or the parent is from where it takes the data. So I will go to the settings, and in the initial pore water pressure condition I am not considering any pore water pressure, so I will leave it as none. And convergence time advanced, you leave it as default. So now what you are going to do is you have to redefine the slope stability analysis, or this is slope W analysis. So how you can redefine is you go on slope stability and you click on in situ. This is a slope W analysis. So you go, the parent for this will be, because it is taking the stresses from in situ analysis, so parent for this will be in situ. So you select the parent as in situ and you select the analysis type sigma W, because we are doing this analysis on sigma W. So I've selected sigma W. So then stress conditions, from where it will take the stress condition, it will take the stress conditions from parent analysis, and leave the time as default, and pore water pressure condition again none. So you can see now this slope w is coming under sigma w. It means that first in situ sigma w will calculate the stresses, then it will transfer to slope w for calculating the factor of safety. So now I'll close it, and let me rename it to make it more convenient, without reinforcement using finite element method. And this is insert 2 and slope stability. So now we are going for we have went to in situ analysis. So what I'll do to explain it to you, I'll first remove those materials, and then I'll reassign the material. So this geometry you have drawn earlier, so or you can draw the geometry as per your problem, and then the second step will be you can draw geometry by using this region box. And the second thing you have to do is you have to assign the material for both the layers. Here there are two layers, so I'll assign material. So first what you have to do to assign the material, you have to go to draw material box. In the draw material box you will see that if you have defined your materials earlier, then it will show here, but if you have not defined, then you can go to define, and you can go to add, and new material is added. You give it a name, let's say silt, and then you go material category, what type of category, total stress parameters or effective drain parameters. So here we are going to do total stress parameter, and type of model you can select. You can also select effective drain parameter, then also type of models you can select. So if you select total stress parameter, then you go select, either you can select linear elastic type of model, metal model, or any type of muscle. So mostly what we select is linear elastic model because it is simpler. You can also select elastic plastic model, then you have to give more details about the soil. If you have more detail from the exploration data, then you can select more data, but if you have less detail, then better to go for linear elastic model. You can give the properties for E modulus constant and Poisson's ratio and other things. In the elastic plastic model, you have to give the E modulus, cohesion, unit weight, and all other things. So embankment side, I have defined that linear elastic model, and effective drain parameters I have taken. And for foundation soil also effective drain parameters I have taken, and I have taken a linear elastic model. Here, as we are not defining the water table, so effective drain and total stress analysis both will give the same results. So let's go further, and let's assign the materials. First, you have to close this box, and in this draw material dialog box, you select your material. So first, I have select the embankment soil. Then I assign the embankment soil to the embankment, and the second I select foundation soil and assign it to foundation. So our materials are now defined. You can close this box. And the second step, in the when we are doing the limit equilibrium analysis, we don't have to add the boundary condition because they are added by default. But when we are doing this finite element analysis, we have to add it manually. So for defining the boundary condition, we go on draw boundary condition box, and in draw boundary condition box, first you have to define your boundary condition. So as I've defined many boundary conditions, so how you can define a new boundary condition is you just click on add, and what type of boundary condition you are, stress strain boundary condition or rotation boundary condition. So I'll select stress strain boundary condition. So this is the boundary condition, a new boundary condition is added. Let's say it is fixed in x direction and free in y direction. So I'll add x fixed. That's all. So you can select the color, and you can select the kind, what type of what kind of boundary condition you are adding. So I'm adding a force displacement boundary condition. So what is the nature of boundary condition in x type? So x type in the nature. So in the what is the condition for x direction? So in the x direction, it is x displacement. And in the y direction, so x direction is fixed, and in the y direction there is no constant, so y direction is free. So soil cannot move in x direction, but it can move in y direction. In the same way, if you are going to define a boundary condition which constraint the movement of soil in both x and y direction, then in the same, if you create a x y fix, then you go on force displacement, and x displacement will be constant will be 0, and y displacement constant will be 0. So you can create in this way. And then how to assign the boundary condition? So first I'll select fixed x direction. So here I don't want any displacement in x direction, I just want a displacement in y direction. So I'll add fixed x here, here, and here. And in the bottom I need fixed in both x and y direction, so in the bottom I'll add fixed x and y both. So this is simple, you just have to click and boundary condition will be assigned. Then you close this box. So now your geometry is defined, your material is assigned, your boundary condition is assigned. What is the next step you have to do? The next step you have to do is you have to define a mesh for the analysis. So how you can define a mesh for the analysis is, here you can see this button, draw mesh properties. So in the mesh, as the by default it selects a mesh of global elements at 2.4384. So you can see these mesh, these are coarse mesh. And how you can increase the, how you can decrease the size of mesh is, if you decrease this global element size, you will see this mesh is much more refined now. So there are finer mesh here. So now you remove it, and we are as you can see that the mesh you see here are rectangular, and here some meshes are maybe triangular. So you can change the type of the meshes here, mesh element here in the define, in the draw box you can go to mesh properties, and or you can directly go to mesh properties from here. And so in this region, if you want to redefine the mesh element type, so you click on this region and you'll see more many options will appear. So what type of mesh you want to select? I have selected quadratic and triangular mesh. So quadrilateral and triangular mesh. So you can also select only triangular meshes, you can see here. So let's select only triangular meshes, and then in this region also let's select triangular meshes. You can also increase or decrease the size of element in particular regions. So now I close it, the mesh is defined. What is the next thing? The mesh you can see from this button, view mesh. So everything is defined now. So in this sigma w stage, when we are calculating the in situ stress, we don't have to define the, we can also we cannot define um, the entry and the exit point of failure surface, because this is not calculating the stability of the slope, but this is calculating the in situ stress due to this soil, and if water table is present, then water table. So our this in situ stage is ready for the analysis. So first I'll go and tell you uh, how you can define this analysis for slope w. So you go to slope w, and now you'll see this because it is coming under in situ, so you'll see this type of screen. So you can see material is already defined. So also sometimes due to some settings the material will not appear here, then you have to again go to the material and reassign it, embankment style and both. So here the material is defined, so no need to, in the slope stability we are doing this, so no need to redefine it. And now boundary condition we don't have to define here. Material you have defined, mesh is predefined from in situ. And what next thing you have to do is you have to define this entry and exit point of failure surface, and the point of center of rotation if you need it. So how you can define is you have to go to draw entry and exit points. So as I have shown in my figure, my coordinates are 4.60 comma 18 for entry point. So I've defined 4.60 comma 18 for entry point here, and then also for exit point I've shown my coordinates are 36.72 comma 8. So my coordinates are 36.72 comma 8, and number of radial increment, how much radial increment you want. I want 6 increments, so I'll take in 6, so it will calculate 6 circles going from these 2 points. And now I close it. So next thing I have to define the center of rotation. If you are doing for a particular center of rotation, so I've defined this center of rotation button. And to define the center of rotation, what you have to do, you have to write your coordinates here, and it will take those coordinates. Let's see how you can do it. In my center of rotation point is 24.4 comma 25, so I'll go here and I'll write 24.4 comma 25. So center of rotation is defined. It was predefined, so you could not see any change here. So now everything is okay. You can represent these distances by this sketch align dimension, just like a drawing, and it will show the distance between 2 points. And you can also display the text. Like if you want to show a text here, then you can show it. And so now everything is okay. What you have to do next is you have to click start to solve this analysis. If you click start, then it will start solving the analysis, and the analysis solution is complete. So I'll show you comparatively. So the first analysis, in the third analysis, this is analysis slope without reinforcement. So factor of safety was 0.855. Then I provided one reinforcement. Factor of safety became 0.983, so it increased. And in the third one, I provided multiple number of reinforcement, so increased further to 1.610. And this last one, this is from finite element, so I'll go to this one, and you can see it is showing without reinforcement, without any reinforcement, it is showing a factor of safety of 0.710. And in the limit equilibrium for the same analysis, we have got a factor of safety of 0.855. So you can see that in the finite element the factor of safety is coming a little less than this one. So limit equilibrium sometimes over predict the factor of safety or the stability of the slope. So in this way we have analyzed it for by limit state equilibrium method, and the second one is by finite element method. So now I'll do the second analysis, that is the analysis with the finite element method, and also in the present of geotextile layer or reinforcement layer between embankment and foundation soil. So for the simplicity, what I'll do, I'll this finite element method analysis which we have added here, I will go and I'll just clone it again. I'll go right click and add analysis, clone geometry and analysis branch. So it is cloned here. I'll rename it as with reinforcement, and here you can see it. So the geometry is defined in this analysis also. So in the in situ stress analysis, so when you'll go to in situ analysis, everything will be same. What you have to do is first you have to, if you are doing fresh, then first you have to define the geometry, and then you have to add a slope W analysis, sigma W analysis for in situ stress calculation. And then in that defined geometry you have to assign the material, you have to go to mesh, and you have to redesign the mesh as per your requirement. And then you have to apply the boundary condition, you have to define the boundary condition and then apply it. So all these things will be same, but the one thing that will change, if you want to add a reinforcement layer here, what you have to do, you have to add the reinforcement when you are doing the in situ stress calculation. So but here there is no option to add a reinforcement layer as it was available here in the slope W analysis, that you can add draw reinforcement sets and draw reinforcement limit lines. But in the sigma W analysis, what is available is draw structure beam. So you have to draw a reinforcement layer as a structure beam element, considering it as a structural beam. So you go to structure beam, then it will appear as a dialog box. Then what you have to do is let's say there are, let me delete it first. So what you have to do is first you have to delete in add beam, and you'll see there is no beam element defined here. So first you have to define a beam element. So you go to add and a new beam, you call it geosynthetics, and then you go to, so here the things will become different. You have to define the E modulus, cross section area, moment of inertia for this geosynthetic. So E modulus, let's say we define E modulus of 15,000. This is a random value, not referenced. And the cross sectional area, let's say it is something like point 10 mm thick, so it will 0.010 meter thick, and the length of the geosynthetic will be for this because this is a 2D analysis, so we'll take 1 meter perpendicular to the plane, so the cross section will become 0.01 meter square only. And we have to leave the moment of inertia. So we have to define the moment of inertia as per this cross section for 1 meter. So in the manual of the GeoStudio it is written you have to leave the moment of inertia as 0, but I've done the analysis, so it does not give very good results. So maybe you can add some moment of inertia after the calculation. So I've added with 0.001 something. So then you close it. Now our geosynthetic is defined. So we have to assign it. So for going to assigning it, you go here and it will automatically select the boundary layer, and you see this is assigned. So one more thing you have to do is you have to draw a point after this after this joint of embankment and foundation, so that the mesh is this finite element mesh is redefined, and you can increase the length of your GeoStudio in this part. This is important for analysis, otherwise it treats both the soils as connected. So now we have defined our reinforcement layer. If you want to define multiple number of reinforcement, here you have to draw manually, you have to draw multiple number of reinforcement. It is nothing like we did in this in the limited equilibrium method, that the option was available. So here in this finite element analysis with reinforcement, you have to draw it manually, and then you have to draw the boundary conditions, and yeah, this is the calculation of in situ, so you don't have to define, or you cannot define here the entry and exit point of your slope, the failure slope or failure surface. So now I'll go to slope stability or slope W type of program, and everything we have added in the slope W, like the previous one, you have to add this entry and exit point from here after giving the coordinates, and you have to add this center of rotation here. And after adding everything, what you have to do is everything is defined, you recheck it, then you run the analysis. So after a while the analysis is over. Now we can see this one is our slope with reinforcement finite element method. The factor of safety came something like 0.7. So in the same way you can do it for multiple number of reinforcement using finite element method. Okay, so thank you for watching.